a vintage motorhome. It's a country coach. So I wanted to walk through and just do a walkthrough and show everybody um, all the features that this older motorhome has that a lot of the newer ones don't have. So I'm just gonna hang out for just a little bit until we get get a few people in the room. So this is a 1987. I'm just gonna ramble a little bit until we get a few people in the room. This is a 1987 Country Coach 30-foot gasser. And I bought this years ago for like what I thought was a really good deal. You know, I was wrong earlier. I said it was like 200. These were about 82,000 when they were new. And let me turn this around as we get going here. I was going to show the spec sheet. All these country coaches have a spec sheet on the one of the doors, and it shows everything that it came with in a year and everything. So most of these were all built in Oregon. So they were built one at a time, and they're just amazing quality. So it just shows all this stuff. It comes with a Dometic fridge, and it came with the everything is still in this coach that it came factory with, and it actually is still functional. Everything in this coach works. And this thing is, this coach is going on 40 years old. So hopefully we get a few people to come into the live so we don't just load it as a video. We'll see if we get some traction here. Remember to guard your prime, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to hang out for a few minutes, maybe 10 or 15. I was having a problem with the audio earlier, so hopefully there's not a problem with the audio with YouTube. For some reason, I was having a real hard time with the audio. Okay, we're getting a few people in now. So what I'm doing tonight, I'm doing a walkthrough of a vintage motorhome that I have. It's an 87 Country Coach, big block Chevy. But I just wanted to go through some features if people have interest in this. I bought this thing about 10 years ago, and it's just amazing quality. You just don't see motorhomes like this anymore. This thing is almost 40 years old, and I wouldn't be afraid to get in this thing and drive to Alaska tomorrow in it. And it's just really good quality. Just everything in it is really good quality. So we got 7 people, the mostly offline. Hey, Girly. Hey, mostly offline Girly. Welcome to the live. So I'm just gonna try to just give me just a bit. We got 7 people in the room. So if you would, post down if you're into motorhomes or you like to travel. I'm going to start doing these lives every night at 7 o'clock. We're going to do automotive lives on the Go Big channel. So I think what I'll do is we'll start going through this, and I'll just do the cockpit and work my way back and show you some of the features. If you're into motorhomes or if you're thinking about getting one, look at some of these older motorhomes because, man, they're just such good quality. You might put a little money into them. Hey, bro. Hey, the man melter. How's it going? I like tent camping. Okay, yeah, for sure. What advice would you give a guy who doesn't know much about mechanics how to start out? Hey, you know what? IFHL 75, stick with me because we're going to start doing exactly that. We're going to start teaching people that know absolutely nothing about auto mechanics. We're going to start doing lives every night at 7 o'clock. And that's what I'm good at. I've been in the field for 40 years. I've been a mechanic for 40 years, and I'm going to teach automotive 101. We're going to do electrical. We're going to go right through. Is that a motorhome or a trailer? So it's a motorhome. So I'm going to start going through the motorhome. Now we got a few people in the live. So this is a 1987 Country Coach, which was a company that used to be called Country Camper, and then they switched them over to Country Coach. Good, amazing quality coaches. I mean, probably the best you can buy. I wouldn't trade this thing for a brand new one tomorrow. It's that good of quality. So I'm going to show you this. Now, keep in mind, this is almost a 40-year-old coach. So And I wouldn't be afraid to get in this thing and drive this to Alaska tomorrow. So I'm going to flip the camera around and walk through the front part with the seated part. But they're so pricey. Yeah, look around, because I paid $7,000 for this one, and I had to put some tires on. I did a little work to it, but okay. Hey, thanks for your subscription. We're gonna do some good automotive training. It's coming. We're gonna do that. That's the whole purpose of this channel. So, but I'm gonna do the lives. I'm gonna start doing lives every night, because it seems like we're getting a lot of subscriptions and people are kind of enjoying the lives. And let me know down below at what you guys are thinking of the lives. So this thing, let me start walking through this. So first of all, you don't see hardly any more. This is a steel door right here, and you don't see driver side doors anymore. You always see passenger side doors. But this is a full steel door that you can go out of. Let me unlock this thing. It's got a double lock on it, so people can't just get in. I gotta get it the right way first. I gotta watch where I'm filming, huh? Give me just a second. There we go. So you can go out this door, and it has steps, which is nice, because if you've ever worked on or been on some other types of motorhomes, you got to go out that door, go around to get out, which is kind of a pain. So these are flex steel seats. They're like sitting on a couch. Flex steel makes probably some of the best motorhome seats on the market. So here's this is the cockpit setup. This is the original Cobra CB that still is functional. And this thing has had some air ride suspension added to it. And that's what this is. You can actually feel airbags in the back, up and down, right to left. You can adjust this for if the wind's blowing real hard, you can let some air out of one bag and it'll keep you straight. And because it is a gasser, this is the doghouse. But if you look at the condition of this thing. I mean, this thing is 40 years old. And here's one of the things that's pretty amazing about this is the cabinetry. This is all solid wood cabinetry. This ain't no cheap cabinetry. It's all solid. Let's see this has a I'll show you this picture, because I'm going to show you this. I'm going to go to the outside before we're done here. This is a picture of the coach when they were new. So this, let's see if I got the right one. No, this is the wrong one. Hang on a second. I hate to rush. I hate to see people leave the room, because I got some good stuff to show you on this thing if you're into motorhomes. So this is the actually motorhome. This one right here. It's the cheapest one in the lineup. I've never seen another one of these. I've seen this model, the LTD, but this is called an Astoria. That's what I own, is a 30-foot rear bath Astoria. But these were about $82,000 when they were new. So I bought this for $7,000, and I put a little, and then they did like $20,000 of upgrades on the air suspension and other things on it. So it was just a great deal. So this is the factory carpet. Look at this carpet. 4 years old. There's some stains here and there. I had it cleaned, but look at this couch. This is the original couch. Yeah, it's definitely outdated. This is definitely 80s floral couch. How's it? It's not bad on the back roads. It really is. And I've taken it off road a little bit, and I've taken it down to like the beach onto the sand and stuff, and it does really good. So let me show you some neat features. So when you come in, it has a flip out right here. It doesn't look like much, but this is a flip out table. So this comes like this, and it gives you a nice table. I wanted to show this because I was hoping somebody else would be in here that's had a country coach. But see this little chair? I believe this is the factory chair that came with this motorhome, because it has the rows on it, and it sits back there in the back. There's an area, it's like a little vanity area where you could sit and put on makeup for if if a woman wanted to sit and do their makeup. These are throughout the coach. Little pull-out shelving here and there. There's a few of them like that. Here's a unique feature. You see this right here? These vents are all through the motorhome, and that's heat. It actually has a propane heater that sits underneath this sink right here, and there's a thermostat on the wall right there. So if you get cold in the middle of the night, you just turn up that thermostat, it turns on the heat, and it puts heat throughout the whole coach. There's vents through the floor all the way to the back. I don't want to miss anything here. So this is at one time there was a 12 volt TV mounted in there. What I'm planning on doing with this, I think I'm gonna upgrade this to like an Apple Play audio and like GPS system here. Maybe I might just do a laptop. Yeah, the fridge still works. Can you hear me fart? If you want to, I'll do that. It makes you feel better. So I took the TV out here, and so there's 120 volt, 20 volt access here and 12 volts. So I think this was it's gonna be as a coffee bar. So I'm gonna put down here, we're gonna put all the coffee stuff here, and then my coffee press. And then because I have a 12 volt here, we're gonna put USBs here for the phones, and maybe like some of those wireless chargers. I don't know, we'll see. So this is the original fridge. It's got a pretty good sized freezer. It has a lock on it so it doesn't open going down the road. So pretty good sized freezer. And this is what they call a 3-way fridge. So this fridge will run off of, it's got places for your butter and all that. But in here, it's got a tub even for your ice. So it's got an ice tub. So it's pretty set up, pretty nice. And so what this does, you can set it right here. And you can tell it, do you want it to run on propane? Do you want it to run on 12 volt? Or do you want it to run on 110? It'll do all three. And it automatically switches. So if you're going down the road, you're running it on propane and you run out of propane, it'll automatically switch to the 12 volt. And it works. One thing about these, you got to remember, always make sure you got your motorhome level before you turn these on. You can cause a lot of damage. You can actually ruin a refrigerator in a motorhome. How long will a tank last running AC or heat? You know what? I went on a month-long trip in September, and we never ran out of propane. When we got back, and actually, let me show you this right here. So on the dash, it actually has indicators. I'm not going to turn the key on, but it actually has indicators so right there's the indicator for the gas tank for the propane. It tells me that I got 3/4 of tank. It has a water pump I can turn on here for the sink and the bathtub and all that. And then it shows your gray water, it shows your black water, and it shows your fresh water. So you got sensors on all that right from the driver's seat. And then right here from the driver's seat, that right there, there's a spotlight on the top of this thing that you can rotate 360 degrees and up and down. It's kind of cool to play with when you're out in the middle of nowhere. And you can turn that on when you're coming into like an area that's real dark and got there late and you can't see. You turn that on, it lights the whole thing as you're pulling in. 50 gallons, it'll hold 50 gallons. 50 gallons of propane, Wayne. And so these fans right here, these are the factory fans, and they still work, and they oscillate. So it says something about just basic mechanics, no electronics. And right here, so I can level this thing with the airbags in the back, but what I can also do right there at the bottom, it's got 4-way hydraulics front and rear. So you can lift the front up and down, front and rear, side to side. You can level this whole motorhome without even getting out of the driver's seat. So this is where all the main lighting is. It's got pretty good lighting. That's one thing I'm gonna upgrade. These lights are 12 volt fluorescents, and I'm gonna change those up to LEDs. Really good cabinetry. I mean, these cabinets, they're 3/4 of an inch thick of solid wood. It's probably one of the nicest things about this. And remember, this is a 4-year-old coach that you're looking at. Okay, so basic sink setup, has a 4-burner top, 4-burner, and this is the original microwave and what they call convection oven. And a lot of people think convection oven is our air fryer is something new. That's what a convection oven is. It's an air fryer. So you can bake cookies, you can bake in this thing. And this is the original one, and it still works. It's almost 40 years old and it still works. How does keeping the smells from the toilet work in a camper or something? Okay, if you want to get, I'll tell you, because I went down that road with this thing. Get some stuff. It's called Happy Camper. To pay the extra, you get it on Amazon. It's called Happy Camper. You just put a couple scoops of that in a gallon of water, and you stir it up real good, and you dump it in the toilet after you fill, and it'll take care of that. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to try to cook some cookies in that, because what I was told is pretty much just like an air fryer, basically. But, I could be wrong. I'm not always right. So this is the one thing I don't like. Well, let me show you this. This is something you don't see. See these things, these little doorways? So you can close this, and there's two air conditioners. This thing has 28,000 BTU on it. It's got two 14,000 BTU AC units on it. And I've went up in the canyon when it was 110 degrees. You can get this AC in this, you can get the temperature in this thing down to like 68 degrees with both of them running in the summer. It's crazy. And these are the originals. Nothing's been done to these. They have them in charge. I blow them out once a year up top, and I clean the filter out, and they will run you out of here. And that's the nice thing about these accordion doors. So they're accordion doors, but check this out. These are wood, solid wood paneled accordion doors. They got a little piece of rubber in between here, but for the most part, these are all wood. And man, they shine up so nice. You can put some like, I have some oil, like furniture oil that I put on there. But what's nice is you see where the sleeping area is. You can close that accordion door and this accordion door, and that leaves this one AC unit in here. You can crank that thing up on high, and I'll tell you what, you'll be putting a blanket on. It gets that cold in here. So same way in here. Great cabinetry. We usually keep all our bedding up there. There's cabinetry underneath the bed. This is the only part that I never liked about this motorhome, is this bed is too far out. And what I want to do with it, I want to modify it so it flips up, and that becomes seating when you're not using the bed. But it does have a inverter under there, so I got to figure out what to do with that. So real nice vanity area here. It's just a TV that this is one of the only things that we really added this television. Let me show you these though. Look at these lights. These are all through the motorhome. Everywhere you go, there's these lights. And they're just push buttons, and they still work. They all still work. And these are wood. All the housings are made of wood. It's pretty amazing, the quality of this coach. And I'll go walk on the outside. Let's see if I forget anything in here. Like I said, it has, you can see there's vents. So there's vents under here for the heat too. And there's vents in the bathroom. So here's something you don't see. This is a ceramic toilet. This is not plastic. And it's made by a company called, I always get it wrong, Sealand. And they put these in a lot of boats. So they're top quality, never have had a problem with the toilet. And here's something you don't see a lot. So this is what they call a rear bath. So the bathroom's in the back of the motorhome, but it has a full closet. There's enough closet in here to hang clothes for 2 people for 20, 30 days. So you got, well, I didn't tell you about that either. So up front where we were at, there's plugs in the floor you can take out. That there's some tables inside here that you can put in there, so you can actually seat like 6 people up front if you wanted to. And those flex steel seats, they actually rotate all the way around, so you can turn them around facing this way and use them for seating. So that's pretty cool. So here's something you don't see a lot. This is a full bath. a full bathtub with a shower. And then it has this little, I got to do something with this because this wants to pull away. It doesn't want to stay closed, so I got to put a little spring or something on it. I think I'm just going to replace the magnets. The magnets have become weak. Does the bed fold up to another couch? No, the bed doesn't. The bed is just like you see it. That's one thing I never liked about this. But the couch that I showed you in here, this couch is a jackknife bed. You pull on it and it pulls out into like a kind of like a double bed. Really comfortable though. Pretty comfortable. Not bad. I sleep on it and I have a bad back. So anyway, let's look at the rest of the bathroom. So this is where that little seat sits. That's why I think it's factory. And it has a little. This is so you can sit here. It's a little vanity so you can do your makeup and stuff. I don't do makeup, so I don't worry about that. But the bathroom itself, so you got this nice accordion door on the bathroom. It does have a fan. This we're gonna replace the fan because it's pretty outdated. And this is the exit. So it does have a rear exit. If you have a fire in this thing, you can get out this back window. You know. And that's something I tell people, man, if you're going to live in a motorhome, have a couple fire extinguishers. Because, you know, it happens. People, you see it all the time where they catch on fire. So you want to be prepared for something like that. But, you know, I'm 6'1", and I'll show you. Let's see, I'll flip this around. What is the G? The tow capacity is a little light. That's one thing I didn't like. And I think if I just put a different style it says you can't tow past 3,500 pounds, but I think it's because of the brakes. Because it's capable of pulling way more than that. But the tow capacity on the tow bar says 10,000 or it says 3,500, but it's a class 3. It should tow 10,000. So, yeah, it is a blast from the past. That's for sure. What kind of engine? So it's got a big block 454 in it, carbureted 454. Non-fuel engine or non-computer controlled. It's got a turbo 400, best transmission ever built behind it. You know, if I was gonna build something, that's what I would use. The big blocks work good. You just got to remember, don't tack them out. You know, 3,500 RPMs, 4,000 is the maximum on a big block. So let me show you this. So I'm 6'1". And this bed is more than long enough for me. Like, there's my feet. But this part here is, I just would like for this to, it seems like wasted space to me. Because this is really narrow. That's the part I never liked. Like, if you look right here, where you walk to the bathroom, there's lighting down here at night. But when you walk through here at night, or if somebody's in there and you're trying to get there and they're trying to go this way, it's just too narrow. It's only about, I'm guessing about 15 inches between there. The motor itself, I think it has 60 on it. If I remember, let me see if I can see the odometer. Yeah, it's got 72,000 on the motor. You know. And you know what? If something happened to that motor, I wouldn't be afraid to pull it out and rebuild it because the motorhome is that. Like I said, if you're looking for a motorhome, go look at some of the older ones. It's amazing what you get with one. So, anything I missed on the inside? Anybody wanted to see that I might have missed? Oh, it does have. That's one thing I didn't do. See this button right here? This button right here is to turn on the hot water heater. So it has a nice hot water heater on it, man. You can take a nice hot shower in this thing and you don't get cold water. It's hot. So you push on this until the light goes out and it lights the hot water heater, which runs off the propane, and you can get a nice hot shower. My truck can only handle no more than 5,000. Yeah, I think 3,500 is a little light duty on this because I got underneath there and I looked at the receiver, and it's welded straight to the frame. It's big, heavy-duty stuff, but I think it's due to the braking, and we'll talk about that when we go outside. Anything else that you guys you didn't see before I go outside? So I'll just do it real quick. I'll do another. So this is the seating area. Flex steel seats. Pacer 1010. There's your shout out, brother. Absolutely, you can get a shout out. And if you guys would, meet me on the lives. We're gonna start doing a live every night at 7, and on Saturday nights we're gonna be giving away tools. Yeah, that's kind of a tough. 20 feet is, you're probably looking at a trailer to pull with a truck, because when you buy a motorhome, you got to figure you lose about 8 feet because of the motor and all this driving area. Might be the extra weight into like the wood and steel, whatnot. Yeah, it weighs 14,000 pounds. So, but I tell you what, driving down the road, this thing is like so nice to drive. It's like driving a Cadillac down the road. I'm not kidding you. I've been in a lot of other motorhomes that rattle and they're so loud you can't even talk to the person sitting next to you. This thing is so nice. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't talk about. The insulation is amazing. So this roof right here, between here and the top of the roof, there's 4 inches of foam in there. You don't see that anymore. These new ones, you're lucky if you get 2 inches. And the roof itself is a solid fiberglass one-piece roof, no seams. You can get up there and walk on it. And so there's nowhere for it to leak in the top. And then the walls are like 2.5 inches of foam. It's so well insulated. It's amazing how well this thing cools down and heats up. I'm not kidding you. When you turn those 2 ACs on in here, you'll be putting a blanket on. It'll get it down to like, I did it up the canyon a few years ago. So I checked the temperature in the coach when we got in. It was like 95 because it was a 105-degree day. And I let it run, and it got down to like 68 degrees. I mean, 28,000 BTU in a 30-foot motorhome is amazing. Most time you only see one unit on a unit this size, or if it's a really big unit, you'll see 2. So I'll walk through this again just so nobody misses anything. So there's the driver's seat, power seats, flex steel seats. These seats right here, if you tried to buy them, they're $1,000 a piece. Just really good quality. It's like sitting on a couch, man. I'm not kidding you. So there you go. There's the seating area, fold out couch. And remember, all this stuff you're seeing is 100% factory. Nothing's been replaced. Look at all the valances around the windows. Oh, this thing, I forgot to show you this. This thing rotates. So you can rotate it forward or back. And my idea was to put something in here where we have internet access. Yeah, it's an RV. Oh, thanks for your sub, Pacer. Hey, stick in there because we're gonna do a lot of automotive teaching type stuff. So stick with us. Yeah, so this had a TV in it, and I'm thinking I want to put like a small laptop or something here with internet access where we can look up recipes and stuff. We can rotate it this way when we're cooking, and then I can use it for just planning our trip, for navigation and all that stuff, email and all that, So that's what I'm going to do with this. This is going to be the coffee bar. I'm going to put a coffee stuff down here, put chargers on this side for the cell phones and stuff. And but anyway, I'll do another pan through here, and I'm going to go outside and show you some stuff from the outside. The outside's pretty good. The lower it has gel coat that I got to do some work on. And so anyway, there's the seating. This is where you would sleep. This is nice. You can sit right here and lay back and watch television. You have all your cabinetry for all your socks and all that kind of stuff. And then there's bigger cabinets underneath the where the bed is at. And then you got cabinetry all along both sides of the motorhome. And this is right here. This is the fuse panel. It's got a regular like 110 fuse panel and then a 12-volt fuse panel. Really nice lighting. decent bathroom. Really good quality toilet. You know, bath, full bath with a tub and a shower. So I'm gonna go out front. I'm gonna go out the door. I'm gonna show you some stuff on the outside. That's pretty unique. Things that you just don't see in these new motorhomes anymore. And most of the new stuff now, they just fall apart. I'm not kidding you. I talked to buddies of mine that bought brand new motorhomes, and they get 10,000 miles on. One of my buddies called and said, "I got 10,000 miles on this thing." He goes, the freshwater tank fell out from under it. The straps were like so thin they broke in half, and the water tank fell out. They just don't build for quality anymore. So here we go. Here's something I want to show you before we go that way. This is something you don't see, and it's really cool. In my opinion, I love it. See this? That's a full spare. It sits on the back right there, and because they use the same tire size in the front and the rear, you only got to carry one tire. People that you see with these newer motorhomes, a lot of them use different size tires, so they got to carry two tires, or they just have to, every time they get a problem with their tire, they got to call somebody to come take care of it. So this is the factory ladder. I just got up there yesterday and cleaned that with a steam cleaner. And see that thing up on top? That's a storage. Big old huge 4x4 storage. You can put like your sleeping bags and all that kind of stuff in there. Yeah, it would be nice to put it. You know what I'm going to do with the TV? I should have showed you. That little table that I showed you that I pulled out, I'm going to do an elevator inside there where the TV comes out of there. So the TV will be on a remote. You push it and it just comes up out of there. So anyway, so here's the receiver, a really good quality receiver. I've been a mechanic for 40 years, so I kind of know what I'm looking at. I crawled underneath there, and this thing is, man, it's built like a tank. So anyhow, see all this? This is all factory. Like all the striping on this, and that's not paint. Those are decals. Look at the quality of the decals on this thing. It's 40 years old. And earlier I said this was a 5,000 watt generator. This is actually a 7,000 watt Kohler generator. You can fire it from out here and shut it down from out here, or you can fire it and shut it down from the driver's seat. This is where the refrigerator light, the gas on and off for the refrigerator is, and then that storage down there is for the propane tank. Pretty big storage compartments. Let me not forget this. So it's got I'm kind of in a bad spot here. I have a hard time showing you this. Let me walk back here. So it has a zip D, like a 20-foot awning on this. And this awning comes out. Do I have lights on the outside of the camper? The only one I had, I took it off, and I'm upgrading those. I'm gonna put a really nice light over the where the doorway is, and it's on a it's solar, and it'll come on automatically when I can set it for it to come on when the sun goes down, or you can have it to where you can switch it on with a remote. And okay, here's another thing you don't see a lot. See these windows? They're the mirror style. So in other words, you can walk right up to this motorhome. You can't see inside, but you can see out, but you can't see in, which is nice when you're inside there and you want to look out to see if somebody's messing with something, or you want to see who your new neighbors are or whatever. So all the windows are done this way. The only bad thing is all the birds, they'll come up and peck on these windows because they think it's another bird. So anyhow, so if you look, you can see how high this is because the airbags are up. So it has rear airbags. So what makes that nice is, like, say you're going to go into like a really steep drive to get gas, like, you know how some of the gas stations have that really big dip? You can raise this thing real high, and then you get in there and you can lower them back down. It has an auto feature for leveling, so you can put it on auto when you're driving down the road. Let's say you stopped and took on 100 gallons of fuel, it'll automatically adjust the level back to level because you put in 500 pounds. So anyway, okay, on this side, that's the sewer clean out, and you can see how it's got that kind of a glazed look to it. I can get that out. I've done it a couple times. I take flints and hit that with a buffer and then put some wax on it. It'll look like it just got painted. It only lasts a couple years. I'd like to take somewhere and actually have them, because it's worth spending the money on it, I think. Because the only bad part of this paint is that brown part. So I thought about taking it to a body shop and have them just shoot that in brown metal flake. It would look really cool. Do the newer campers have mirrored glass? I don't think so. I haven't seen any with mirrored glass. They might have them, but I haven't seen them. This is a pretty unique feature of Country Coach, and I really like them because you can be sitting right there eating lunch. Nobody can even do that, you know. I'm sure you could get mirror glass put in. And look at these wheels. These are stainless steel. They're just covers, you know, the regular wheel with a cover on there. But, you know, those are, and I haven't cleaned them. You know, when I get in there and clean them, man, they look great. They look really good. So this had a little issue with some of the locks. I'm going to upgrade those. But this is for the batteries. Let's see if this is unlocked. I don't think it is. So what's cool about this battery thing, it has a tray. It unlocks and the whole battery tray comes out where you can get to them, so you're not bending over trying to work on them. And this is the water fill. This is the exhaust for the burner. So this is the hot water tank. It runs off propane. You fire it from the inside. I've never had a problem with it. It works great. And so these are all storage right here. And then you can see how this is nice having this driver's side door. I've seen people, so many motorhomes, they do not have a driver's side door. And what's nice about this driver's side door, when you get to a campground or something, you can stand right here and you can activate the hydraulics and put a level over there where you can see it. And you can level this standing out here. I usually just level it from sitting in the seat, because you can just sit in the seat and level it. It's really easy to set up and take off, which is nice. Like, look at this sticker. That's the original sticker on this thing. That's a 40-year-old sticker. So it has a footstep here. So when you're getting into the motorhome, this thing probably weighs, I bet this door weighs 50 pounds. So one nice thing, it really protects you as the driver. Like if you took a T-bone into that door, you'd be in good shape. And all this is all the original. You can see this is something I got to fix. I pulled one of the mirrors off. Oh, it's got heated mirrors too. So I'll show you the front. Really nice GM grill. So this is on a P30 GM chassis, which is nice, is because you Motorola, I do too, man. I spent my whole life when I had a family, I raised my kids and stuff. We went camping every weekend. Before I had this, you know, we camped on the ground out of tents and everything. But anyway, look at the chrome on this thing. And this is a GM P30, so that means you can get parts for anything on the chassis. You can get parts for. These are grab handles, so you can go here and you can get up on it and you can clean the windshield. And there's that spotlight I was telling you about. So I don't know. You know, when I was looking on the internet, I could never find one of these. Even on YouTube, you get on YouTube, there's no Country Coach Sedonas. This is a Sedona 30-foot rear bath, and I've never seen another one. In all my travels I've done, I've seen a lot of the LTDs and the diesel pushers, but I've never seen one of these. This thing belongs in a museum. It really does, because it's in that great a condition. Other than the paint, you know, on the bottom could use a little help, and the mirrors aren't automatic. You have to adjust them. But and that's how I tore that one off. They don't fold. So they're stationary. So, you know, if you're looking into thinking about getting a motorhome, is that one of them there handy dandy Winnebagels? No, this is a Country Coach. So Country Coach, do some research on Country Coach. There was two guys, that Bob Lee and another guy, and they both worked for Monaco and someone else, and they went out on their own and they started building these Country Coaches. And when this thing was built, they built these one at a time. There was no assembly line. They had a group of crew, and they built everything on the motorhome. So they're just good, really good quality. You know, it's just, anyway, I thought I'd share this because you don't see a lot of them. It's called a Mark V. And if you look them up, you won't, I doubt you'll find another 30-foot Mark V that's a gasser. You see a lot of the diesel pushers, but this was the cheapest model they built. So for this year, this model was $82,000 new. And then I looked up, so there was the upgrade that was put on there for the air ride is a complete rear suspension change out. So that suspension change out, just the option was $7,000 just to put that rear air on. So, you know, this was like a $100,000 motorhome when it was new. And you know what? I'm not kidding you when I tell you, if they offered me a brand new motorhome for this thing, I'd turn them down. Because this thing's going to last another 50 years. It's just that well built. I mean, look at the chrome on this thing. You know, and it's been the last 3 years sitting out here in the driveway. It's not been, I need to get it under I need to build a shop. That's one of the reasons why I want to put a big prefab shop in, so I can get this thing. So if you guys would, give me your subscription. You know, I appreciate your subscription. We're going to do lives every night at 7 o'clock. Here's my Harleys. We're going to do lives every night at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk about automotive repair, and we're going to do some basic automotive how-to. In other words, if you don't have a clue, you've never put a screwdriver in your hand, we're going to teach you how. Here yonder in the holler, we got them mobile home mobiles. We'll need to have a CDL license to drive it. No, you don't. Just a basic Class C license is all that's required. You don't have to have a CDL, which is nice. Front wheel drive, no, it is rear wheel drive. Yeah, motor oil. That's something I've thought about doing, is putting solar on the top of this. So the top has a really nice, so you see where that storage tub is? It's got a real nice, like 1.5 by 1.5 aluminum frame. And I thought about pulling that storage bin off and putting solar panels right there. And that's one thing I'd love to do with this coach, is make it where it had solar, because I really don't like running that generator unless I have to. But you know, sometimes you have to. If you don't have, like if you're in a place that doesn't have power, you don't have an option. But it costs, you know, it costs $1 gallon an hour to run that generator. Great generator, but it's a gas guzzler, and they're loud, and they're kind of dangerous, those gas generators. So I would love to put about, you know, 5,000 watts of solar on top of this thing, and then I could just go off grid and I could just stay wherever I want. You know, I got water, I got my sewer tank, I got my fridge, I got everything I need. I could just stay out for months at a time if I wanted to. And I took this thing on a trip from California all the way up to Washington 2 years ago, and I tell you what, man, it was a blast. You know, it's probably the best money I ever spent was buying this thing, and I'll never get rid of it. It's just, it's rear wheel drive. It's rear wheel drive, which I'm fine with because it's got a good rear end in it, and it's got a turbo 400 trans and a big block Chevy. You couldn't ask for better components to build something. The only thing is with these, like when you get pulling a big hill, you don't want to be trying to pull that hill at 80. You know, just drop it down into second, pull it at 45, take your time, you know, and then you don't want to, those big blocks, you don't want to tack them out over about 4,000 RPM. They don't like that high RPM. We do have none of them licensed here in the Smokies. Earl was fixing wearing my sister. Yeah. So anyway, thought I'd shoot this live out here, and if you guys would, you know, I appreciate you guys hanging out for the live tonight, and we're gonna start doing one of these lights. And of course, there's a lot of questions that sells a bunch of cameras, and it's about an hour drive from where I live. Yeah, let me talk a little bit about campers compared to a motorhome. It depends on your age on that, I think. Here's the deal with campers. with a camper, when you're going down the road, especially if you have animals, when you're going down the road, and let's say you want to pull over and have lunch, whatever the temperature is, it's that temperature in that camper, and it takes a long time to cool them down. That's what I like about the Class A's. You're going to pay more in gas because they're kind of, you'll get 7-8 miles a gallon, but you don't have to pay for a room everywhere you're going. So you trade gas, gas for rental of the room. You save rental on the room and you use that for gas money. But what I like about the Class A's, I leave that AC going as I'm driving down the road. And I used to have a big American Bulldog, and he was really, he was touchy when it came to temperature. So I would leave him in the motorhome, and we never had a problem. But if you run a trailer and you pull over, when you pull over, if it's 110 degrees outside and you get in a trailer to make sandwiches to eat lunch, it's hot. Because I've done that with some of my friends. And this thing, you just pull over and put the jacks down, make lunch, watch a movie, and it's like, it's like you're at home on the couch. So, but everybody has their own way of doing things. The nice thing about doing a bumper pull is you can drop them and then you can drive your car around doing things. So that's the advantage of that. There's a bigger. Yeah, here's the deal with bigger too. If you want to get into the state parks, you don't want a 40-footer. You don't want a diesel pusher 40-footer because a lot of the state parks you won't get in. You'll have to stay outside the park, and then you got to travel into the park to get into the park. Where this is only 30 foot, you can get into the state parks, and all the national parks you can get in because of the length. So that's a big advantage by having a little shorter. But yeah, as I'm getting older, I'd like to have a 45-foot diesel pusher at some point, But I love this thing. So anyway, thanks to everybody that showed up. Remember, we're going to be doing lives every night at 7, but on Friday nights, we're doing trivia, and we're giving away tools. So if you're into like winning tools, we're going to be giving away snap-on wrenches and Craftsman and different tools and stuff. And how it works is we're going to have trivia. If you get the answer right, you get to spin the wheel for bonus round. And then we're going to have some artwork available. If you land on that, then you win the artwork. We just had somebody win. Matter of fact, Scout, if you're on here, I mailed out your artwork today. Anyway, so on the lives on Saturday or Friday night, the lives on Friday night, we're doing automotive trivia. When you get an answer correct, you're the first one correct to answer the question. We have a wheel we're going to spin, and if it lands on Go Big, you're going to win some drip artwork. And then at the end, when we're all done and we fill up all the spots on the wheel, we're going to spin for a free tool. Free to you. You don't have to pay shipping, nothing. I'm paying the shipping to you. Just within the United States only. We're not shipping outside the U.S. It just costs too much for me to do that. So anyway, if you guys are into automotive and you like talking about cars and you're really into automotive things, give me your subscription if you would. I'd appreciate that. Here's our OBS project. This is my other project that we're going to be documenting. This is a 1992 Ford F-250 IDI non-turboed 7.3. So I bought this thing for a song and a dance, and I got a fuel leak I'm taking care of, and so we're going to be documenting all this. If you guys are into OBSs, put in a comment, hey, OBS, because these are getting to be really popular. This is a two-wheel drive extended cab. I wanted a crew cab, but I couldn't find one that was in this good a condition. I bought this thing for $700. It didn't run. It had no batteries in it. I didn't even know if the motor was going to be seized up, and I got it running. And the tranny's in good shape. Interior's good. We're going to do some exhaust. We're going to do we're going to split the exhaust, go two out the back, up through. We're going to bring some stacks through the bed right here. We're going to do 3-inch stacks up above the cab. We're going to get some smoke rolling out of this bad boy. Yeah. So anyway, if you're into automotive stuff, we got some projects coming up. Come hang out with us. Give us your subscription. Get involved. We're trying to build a community here, the Go Big crew. So if you want to be part of the Go Big crew, come hang out at the lives. We'd appreciate it. All right. Hope everybody has a good night. As well, Go Big always says, go big or go home, baby.